Get back to today's arraignment right now, though. In court, prosecutors called the evidence against the suspect overwhelming, citing his own writings, the testimony of witnesses, video, and being called at the scene of the crime with a murder weapon in his hands. Well, people hate to hear the phrase innocent until proven guilty in a case like this, but as family members of the victim said today, this is part of the process in order to get justice. Joining me right now to kind of walk us through what happened today is Paul Cambria, partner and chair of the criminal department at Lipsitz Green Chimay. Cambria, Paul, always great to see you. Let me ask you first of all, this is a case in which there is this mountain of evidence, right? But you still go through the process.
Absolutely.
What did you make today, and also the decision of the judge to keep cameras out? You thought that was significant.
I think it's clear that what was happening today, keeping cameras out, was so that they cannot change the venue, move it to another city. So now they're cutting back on publicity. DA Flynn says, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Again, cutting back on publicity. They're anticipating that motion being made.
We heard from family members today who were inside the courtroom after the arraignment. They came outside and talked to some of the reporters there. They did say that they're upset that they believe prosecutors aren't updating them enough on the case. How limited is the DA and the DA's office in what they can say to the family members? And then also kind of this idea that they believe there are others who obviously weren't involved in committing the crime, but maybe some way aided it. How does that factor into the investigation?
Well, first things first, until the indictment is handed up, everything that happens before the grand jury is secret, is sealed, and it's a crime to reveal any of that. Once that indictment is handed up, then that information can be let out, and that's what's going to happen. The next step will be mandatory discovery under the new discovery rules. They'll have to give all the evidence that they have to the defense. That'll be that. Then the defense gets to make motions, and like I say, front and center is going to be the motion to change venue, saying we can't get a fair jury here.
Finally, when you talk about is there anyone else culpable in this, maybe not criminally, but maybe civilly, something that I know that you're now looking into in terms of the gun manufacturers.
Yeah, what's happened, the Sandy Hook case, for example, is one where recently there was a settlement of $74 million to the Remington Arms Company. And basically, see, there is a statute, it's the Federal Fair Commerce and Firearms Statute, that gives immunity to gun manufacturers, and so that they can't get sued if people use their guns to commit crimes. But there are exceptions to that. So they look at their advertising like they did in Sandy Hook, and they found that the advertising was such that the immunity didn't apply. So that'll be that here. We've been contacted, I was contacted today about that. And I said, yes, we're interested. We're willing to look at their publicity and see whether the gun manufacturer here should be liable.
Interesting, something to follow as this case moves forward, because everyone hopes that there is justice at the end of the day, right? Not just with this suspect, but potentially others.
Absolutely.
Paul Cambria, thanks so much. Good to see you.
My pleasure.